Hey guys, this is Brownie Boy TB here with your Litheo GBA Round 1 Game of the Week. It's between the St. Louis Rampardos, who's owned by Jello Hot Dog W2F1, and he is going to be battling Axew Milan, whose owner is Corey Brown 48. Both of these teams are going into their first game of the season, and Corey's lineup is Jolteon, Mega Charizard Y, Toxicroak, Torkoal, Snorlax, and Sharpedo, while Neil, or Jello, is bringing Cloyster, Clefable, Reuniclus, Infernape, Porygon Z, and Gliscor. Right away you can see that Toxicroak is going to be really important for Corey because he can carry the Dark move for Reuniclus, or he can carry the Poison Jab for Clefable. Also, he's got fighting moves for Porygon Z, so he's really going to be an important factor for Corey's team if they're going to win this battle. And for Jello, I would say that Cloyster is probably the most valuable Pokemon since he can take out, if he can set up a Shell Smash, he can definitely take out that Mega Charizard Y, and he can mess around with Jolteon. But let's get into this battle. So Neil's here issuing the challenge, and he's going to lead out with Gliscor, as Corey's going to lead with Jolteon. And Neil's going to be fearing the HP Ice from Jolteon, so he's just going to start out by switching into Clefable, while Corey does in fact go for the HP Ice, so it's a good switch there by Neil. So Corey is going to be forced to hard switch here after Clefable gets its leftovers. And Corey's going to go into Snorlax, fearing a special attack from Clefable, but Neil makes a good play and goes for Stealth Rocks, as Corey swaps out into Snorlax. So from here, Clefable collects his leftovers again, and then Corey's going to go for a Yawn as Neil decides to switch back out into Gliscor, which is another great play because he'll be able to get his Toxic off and the Yawn's essentially useless. So Neil's battling really well so far. He's made the right plays up to this point. So Corey's going to switch out into Mega Charizard Y, who's going to lose half his health from the Stealth Rocks that are up, but Neil gets unfortunate there with the Toxicness, so Corey's going to make up all of his Charizard into Mega Charizard Y, obviously, and it's going to get the Drought up. And I don't really know what Neil was doing here, because he probably should have switched, because it really hurt him to lose his Gliscor this early to that Flamethrower with the Ochko, but he swaps out into Infernape. Corey switches out because I think he's fearing the Thunder Punch, so he goes out into Torkoal, and he ends up, Neil actually does have the Thunder Punch, so it's a good move for Corey. So he brings in his defensive wall and eats up the Thunder Punch, and Torkoal's also got the Rocky Helmet, so Infernape loses some health from that, and he also loses some health from his Life Orb. So then Infernape goes for the close combat against Torkoal, so he loses some more Life Orb and Rocky Helmet damage, and then Torkoal's able to survive with 38.5 HP and go for the Rapid Spin, which really helps out Corey since it clears out the rocks and it allows for his Charizard Y to come back in. So from here, the Infernape gets the kill with an Overheat, which will drop his special attack by 2 stages, obviously, and then he's swap moves, so Corey knows that he's not Choice Scarf and he's seen the Life Orb damage. So Corey goes on to Jolteon, and he knows that he's either going to switch or he's going to get killed, so Corey makes a smart play and goes for Volt Switch here. So then Neil makes a good play, goes into a special wall Clefable, and maybe not a special wall depending upon that damage, but so Neil brings in Clefable, he takes the Volt Switch, and then Corey swaps out into Toxicroak as the sun fades away, so Corey doesn't lose health from the Drive Skin if he had it. And on top of that, Corey's able to have a good matchup here and goes for the Poison Jab and kills Clefable. I really thought that Neil should have swapped out to Reuniclus there, because he could probably eat the hit, but oh well. And then Corey reveals that his Toxicroak is actually Choice Scarf, and he gets the kill on Infernape since he obviously wouldn't outspeed otherwise. Then Neil, after he loses Infernape, swaps out to Reuniclus, which forces Corey to hard switch out into his Sharpedo. And when Corey hard switches out to his Sharpedo, Reuniclus goes for the Calm Mind as he's trying to set up, obviously, which is not a bad idea, especially if it's a bold Reuniclus, but Corey's able to go for the Crunch with his Sharpedo, and a Life Orb Crunch is going to do a hefty amount of damage to poor Reuniclus there, but Jello gets unlucky again with a Focus Blast miss, which results in him having to sacrifice his Reuniclus. So Corey loses some more HP from his Life Orb there, and then he gets another speed boost, so he's at double speed right here. He's able to get off the the Life Orb boosted Waterfall on the Porygon Z, which almost one hit kills it, and then Porygon Z is able to retaliate against the Sharpedo and take it out with a critical hit Tri-Attack. I don't think the critical hit mattered, especially if he's a adaptability Porygon Z. So Corey takes out his Choice Scarf to Toxicroak again, and is able to take out Porygon Z, so racking up another kill. And from here, Jello swaps out to his Cloyster, and Corey just goes for another Drain Punch trying to get off some damage, since I think he knew that he was going to die, or thought he was going to die, as Jello's able to go for a Shell Smash. So Jello looking pretty dangerous and trying to make a comeback at this point with Shell Smashing White Herb, Cloister. So Corey makes a hard switch out into his Jolteon as he's just going to sack it off, as he thinks that Jello's going to probably go for an attacking move here, and he does. And he's able to take out Corey's Jolteon easily with 3 Icicle Spears, but I think that Shell Smashing again may have been Jello's best option, but I don't know, maybe then again Toxicroak could have taken him out. So Corey then goes out to his Brick or Snorlax, who is able to evade the Rock Blast, which really helped Corey because nobody wants to take +2 Rock Blast from Cloister, but Cloister is able to hit his Rock Blast on the second turn, and Snorlax is able to take those and lose just below half life, and he's able to hit Cloister with his second Body Slam, which is able to take him out and close out the game for Corey. So Corey takes this battle 3-0, and that's the conclusion of the round 1 game of the week for the Litheo GBA. We're going to try to make this into a constant series type deal, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Vertilet, who recorded this battle and is going to be recording future battles for the GBA. His YouTube channel and his Twitter page will be linked in the description below, as well as the link to the spreadsheet for the Litheo GBA if you'd like to follow along. Thanks for tuning in, guys.